Hi there, welcome to this video. Today in this particular video, we are talking about that paralyzing feeling of feeling like you don't know what to do because you're so scared that you're gonna get things wrong. You're gonna get it wrong. What if you take a leap and you actually put in your resignation letter and then you struggle? And then you wish you hadn't done it, or you wish you could go back, or maybe you try something and it doesn't work out and you feel like such a failure. Today we're going to talk about something you can do to help you reframe that. It's worked wonders for me. It's changed my life, actually, to be honest. And I think that if you apply this mindset shift and this reframing, it could potentially change things for you, because that feeling of feeling like we are so paralyzed with fear because we're afraid of getting things wrong is one of the feelings that could stop you from being the best version of yourself, from making that beautiful leap in your career that you know is on the other side for you. So let's talk about the one game-changing mindset that will help you if you're scared of getting things wrong. Let's go.
Got some unlearning to do? Hi there, I'm Zanele Njapa, known to my clients as the Unlearning Lady, a past primary school teacher and now the world's leading voice on using key unlearning principles to self-disrupt, get unstuck, and transition successfully.
Okay, cool. So it's Zanele Njapa, the Unlearning Lady, and we're going to kick off on this video. But before we do, just want to encourage you, if you haven't had a chance yet, please go over to the bottom of this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend, tell a colleague who's also a career mover to be on this channel, because we're going to have some amazing conversations during this year and just forever until I drop dead, of course. Then maybe we won't be having conversations unless you're into like that type of thing. Maybe maybe we can make a plan. Sorry guys. Okay, so I just completely lost track of everything. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you've subscribed. And hit the notification bell so that every single time I release a new video, my cheeks are burning. Every single time I release a new video, you can watch that video and you're notified of it as soon as it gets released. So, and I don't want you to miss these because I love having these conversations with you in the comments. So as we go on with the conversation today, please make sure that you go over to the comments and leave me a comment, even if it's just a heart or maybe it's a thumbs down, if that's how you feel, or whatever it is. I love engaging with you, but I also love getting some of your insights on the topics that we're speaking about, especially the one we're talking about today. Such a big one, the paralyzing fear of getting things wrong. We are so afraid of getting things wrong. So much so that that feeling of getting things wrong is one of, and is possibly the number one, if not right up there in the top 5, mindsets, fears that cripples us so we don't make our career transitions. Now, when I sit down to have amazing conversations with career movers that I coach, that I mentor, and even in organizations that I work with in my corporate work, one of the biggest things they'll say is, Zanele, what happens if I'm in this role, I'm in this position, and I decide, yeah, it's time for me to make the leap. I set up, I put together a career strategy, and then I take action only to realize that it's probably not the best thing I could have done, or I have now lost so many resources that I had invested in that particular leap or that particular piece of action or course of action and that jump. And so we freak out so much so that we end up just going, no, you know what? It's fine. I'm not even going to leap. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to rock the boat because I'm afraid of getting things wrong. What if I get things wrong and it completely changes the way people receive me? What if I do something and it completely makes me feel like an utter failure because I've done this particular thing? And it cripples us into not acting. Now, before we go into what we can do, I really do want to say, and if you watched the previous video, you'll remember how I was speaking about action and the importance of action and how action breeds clarity. When we act, that's how we start to get clarity on whether or not this is the right direction for us to go, or maybe it's time for us to recalibrate, think again, try another course of action. And so that's the beautiful, beautiful thing about being in action, acting, trying things, doing things, calling up people, doing some research, whatever your course of action is. That's the beautiful thing about action. And so I heard an amazing human being once say, have a bias for action. Just be so action oriented that people just don't know how to hold you down because you are just completely on a roll. So that's the first thing, is just understanding the importance of action, especially in the context of the conversation we're going to have today about getting things wrong and that crippling fear of getting things wrong. Now, before we go into it, I do want to just give you a bit of context just as to just how much of a of a crippling thing this can be, this fear of getting things wrong, and just how much we can let it get in the way. So, and I want you, as I tell the story, to think about instances where you have also had a situation or been in a situation where you've been so nervous, so scared, so crippled to get things wrong that you have almost just stopped and decided rather to not take a course of action in that instance. Now, this has happened to me multiple times, but the one time that it happened, we were sitting in a really great mastermind group. So I'm a part of a few different masterminds, and I was sitting in one particular mastermind group. And usually, so maybe let me just backtrack a little bit here. A mastermind group, if you don't have one, please make that one of your goals for this year. So a mastermind group is a group where you sit with like-minded individuals who are either in the same industry. A lot of the time it's people of industry that will be in this group with you. But what you guys will do is that when you get together, you will share insights, you will share best practice, you will exchange notes, but also you'll exchange recommendations on a range of different things. And so the power of a mastermind group is that you're sitting with all of these people with juicy experience and juicy insights that you all sort of cross-breed, cross-share amongst each other. And it results in everyone getting stronger, getting better, and almost expanding themselves as well. So it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful practice. If you're not a part of a mastermind, you can even put your own mastermind together. That's one thing that I've done in the past as well, is put your own mastermind together if you really want to leverage some of those brilliant minds of people who are also career moving. Or another thing that you can do is just join my course, join my membership program. And in my membership program, we have something very, very similar to this that takes the form of a mastermind in so many contexts. We sit together in a room, we leverage each other's rich insights and experience so that everyone is consistently growing. It's a game changer. Masterminds are a game changer, to say the least. So, back to my story. Now, I was part of this mastermind group, and during one particular day, it was time for us to have conversations. Usually we'll jump online or we'll meet in person and we will have these conversations. Now, when I joined the mastermind group, everyone in the group was so much more experienced than me, earned so much more than me, was so much more well established in terms of their business than I was. And so I remember there was always this feeling in the pit of my stomach when I would sit in the mastermind group, because I would just go, oh, Zanele, don't say anything weird, because these people are going to judge you and you're going to seem like the amateur that you are. And so I would sit there, and only if I was super, 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 super confident about something, then I would share it. Then I would keep quiet. And then I would share just one tiny thing and I would keep quiet, because I was so afraid of making a mistake, of saying something that would make me look like an amateur, or make me look like I don't know what I'm doing, or I can't add value to the bigger group. The funny thing is, and let me know in the comments if you have this experience, the funny thing is, when I have conversations with career movers around the theme of confidence, this is one of the stories that come up a lot. Zanele, during meetings, I sit there quietly, even though I know I can say something that's really going to help someone, but I just sit there. Or another thing that people do, another thing that so many of us do, is we will nudge someone, that we feel comfortable with, who's also in the meeting, and we'll go, hey, I'm thinking about this idea. Can you share it for me? And then that person will share your idea and sometimes even get credit for your idea. Now, I'm not saying do this for the credit, but what I am saying is that it's so, so, so important for us to rid ourselves or to unlearn, there's that beautiful word, to unlearn this feeling of fear or unlearn the fear of making mistakes. And guess how we're going to do that? We're going to do that by taking action, but we're going to start by reframing. So I'm going to give you a bit of an activity at the end of today's video, which I think is going to be really, really helpful. So we'll start off with the reframing, which is what most of this video is about. Then right at the end, we'll talk about taking action, because it's one thing to build in a new mindset. And when it comes to the neuroscience of change, the neuroscience of learning and habit creation, we know that it's beautiful to rewire, but a big part of rewiring is not just reframing, but it's the practice, the consistent execution that allows those new neural pathways to harden or to get concrete and become defaults over time. So we really want to make sure that we are doing that and we're serving ourselves in that way. So let's go into the reframing segment. So what do? What's the thought on the other side of, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna get things wrong? What's on the other side of that? So here's something that I would love for you to entertain. Now, allow yourself to be challenged. This might seem like it's a bit far off, but just allow yourself to go, maybe I can try that. Maybe that doesn't seem so bad. Let me see how that feels if I give it a few moments to almost simmer in my mind. Now, the mindset that I'm talking about is the mindset where you go from, oh my goodness, I'm so scared to get things wrong, to a mindset that says, oh my goodness, I can never get things wrong. Now, let me unpack it before you go, I've gotten things wrong many times. I know that I can get things wrong. Let me unpack this. So, and this is probably one of my favorite ideas on all of planet Earth. It's the idea that it's either you win or you learn. Now, people might say, oh goodness, there's another phrase for people who don't win. They just like saying those things. No, seriously, think about it. When you get into a situation and you attain your goal or what you set yourself out to, we can attribute the label of winning to that. Now, it varies from person to person, but by virtue of achieving your goals, we can say that you have won in that context or in that situation. So yes, sometimes you get into a situation, you try something new, you make a leap in your career, you tweak your resume and apply somewhere, and then you get what you wanted. So you win in that sense. But sometimes you tweak your resume and apply and then you don't get that job. Sometimes you speak up in a meeting and everyone says, no, that's not relevant. Sometimes you approach your leader to have them mentor you and they say no. So those things do happen where you don't necessarily lose, but you learn. Now let's talk about the difference between those things. So yes, we understand, we've spoken a little bit about winning now. Let's speak about the learning part. Now, the beautiful thing about making mistakes is that what a mistake is really is just an opportunity for us to go, okay, what does this situation have in store for me to grow myself? So for example, let's take the horrible, hurtful example of approaching a leader that you strongly admire to be a mentor, a sponsor, a coach of yours, and they say no. Let's take that example. So if that person says, unfortunately, I don't have the capacity, can't work with you for a range of different reasons, then that's what they say. Let's take that situation. So the question you want to ask yourself here is, what in this current situation is really going to help me to grow? What can I take from this situation? Let me just divert here for a few seconds. You really want to almost go through each and every situation in your life as a better version of yourself, so that nothing touches you without you gleaning some beautiful lessons from that particular situation, from that particular interaction, if it's with a human being or even an animal, because I'm all about the animals. So you want to just make sure that whatever happens, I want to always be leveraging the beautiful opportunities, learnings from that situation, and then move on as an almost slightly elevated version of yourself, regardless of what's happened to you. So now let's backtrack, because I did sort of sway out of line there. So let's backtrack then to coming back to saying, okay, if that's what's happened, you want to ask yourself, now that this leader has responded this way, what can I learn from that? Because you want to glean the lessons so you can apply them going forward. These might be things like, okay, how can I use what's just happened to better inform what I'm going to do next? Maybe it even starts with having a conversation. May I ask why you were not able to mentor me at this time? And then how they respond is going to be super, super, super important for you, because one of the things that they tell you might even be, because of the way you framed how you wish to work with me, I don't think I can work with you. Then what you do is you go back to the drawing board and you go, oh, okay. So the way that I phrased my proposal made it sound like I wanted 18 hours of every single day with them. I wanted us to do coffee, breakfast, lunch, dinner together. And most of the time with sponsors and mentors, this is not the approach that you want to take. You want to almost have them think that you are going to be a breeze to work with and not someone who's going to start to leech them of their time. And so that's the first thing. They might say, oh, the way you phrased it, it sounds like I won't have the capacity to work with you. Or what they might say is that I, unfortunately, at the moment, have 9 or so other mentees that I'm working with. That's another thing that you can learn. Okay, maybe let me start off by asking someone how many people they already mentor before I start the conversation. Something else that that person might give you is something that's demographics related. They might say, oh, Zanele, I'm so glad that you asked me. However, with my mentees, I like to every week meet them in person because I feel like that's super critical. Unfortunately, with you, because you're based in South Africa, I can't have that same setup, and I don't do virtual mentorships or sponsorships because it means I won't have a face-to-face interaction with you. You might think, that's really weird in the 21st century, but okay, that's something that you might also use to take from there. Or it might even be something that personally relates to you and your approach. So anything from how you position yourself, anything from the type of industry you're a part of, all of those pieces of feedback that they can give you are things you can use to tweak as you approach the next person. So can you see how, and also think about this, when you approach the next person, you're going to be a much better version of yourself compared to who you were in the beginning. So if I were you, I mean, this is how I approach life. I'm out there trying to make as many mistakes as I can because I know that it's through being in the thick of things, through making mistakes, through getting stabbed, and not literally, but through, oh my God, through being on the battlefield that we learn how to become better, to improve, to show up better every now and again. So that's the first thing, asking them for feedback, hearing what some of the things are that they would recommend, but also sitting with yourself, with your emotions. Because think about it, when you get back that email or that text or even that letter, if you're still into those types of things, I am, by the way, I do little handwritten things. Anyway, I'm making this about me. So what you would do is that you would look at yourself and you would go, oh my goodness, I've just received this letter. It's made me feel this particular way. And you double click into that. You don't run away from it. Maybe you give yourself a bit of time to have a bubble bath, and then you come back and you go, oh, I just wrote a letter to Oprah asking her to mentor me, and she said no. What does that make me feel? What are the feelings that I'm experiencing at the moment that are running through me, coursing through me at the moment? So anything like feeling rejected, like feeling less than, feeling like I'm unimportant. And you deal with those emotions as they are. You don't almost overarch the entire issue as you being horrible, don't try this again, you made a mistake, get out, get out, get out. But you look at the emotions for what they are. And then it makes you feel like you're not worth mentoring, or you don't deserve a great mentor. And you face those emotions and you reframe them. So a great way to reframe those emotions is to think about what's on the other side of the emotion. So yes, she might have, or he might have said no to your offer, but it's not necessarily anything about you. It's not a reflection of the character of you or who you are. It might be a reflection or an indication or maybe even influenced by something you did, a way that you thought, how you executed, but it's got nothing to do with your character and the type of person you are. So you want to reframe it by using beautiful affirmations that help you. Something like, I don't have a mentor yet, but I'm on my way to finding someone who's going to be a wonderful match for me and will help me to grow. Or if you get another rejection letter, for example, to use this mentorship example, oh, I can feel it. My mentor is on the way. It's just around the corner. Okay, so that's not my mentor. Who is my mentor? My mentor is around the corner. So that almost what you're helping yourself to visualize and to see is that you do have to get through a few people before you find that right, perfect mentor that is going to mentor you for where you are. Now, this idea of perfection, please hold on loosely to it, because it just means that for where I am now, they fit a certain kind of set of characteristics. But maybe in 10 years' time they won't, or 2 years' time they won't. And that's fine, because we change and we want to evolve our entire team with that as well. So that's another thing you can do. Find beautiful affirmations that will help you reframe the situation. My mentor is on the way. I'm on my way. I'm making progress. I'm getting better. I'm improving in how I approach these mentors. In no time, I'll be getting a few offers, And those types of things really, really help you in the moment to pattern interrupt, because those emotions of feeling worthless, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you are a horrible human are patterns. And when we use affirmations, we do what's called pattern interrupting. We stop the pattern in its tracks and we start the process of rewiring and setting up a beautiful new pattern with repetition, though. Remember what we spoke about earlier on. So that's really the essence of our conversation today. Is you want to put yourself in a position where you're reframing and re-looking at things, but also almost sucking the marrow out of your experiences that seem like they're completely devastating. Because sometimes as we go through our leaps, as we make our leaps and we transition, so many things could make us shake at the knees and sweat and cry and scream and do all the things. All the things. I've done all the things, guys. You don't want to know what I've done. But we could feel that way, and all coming from that fear of getting things wrong. But I want you to remember this beautiful phrase that has been a game changer for me. It's either I win or I learn, and be excited about learning. With that comes the eagerness to learn, so that when a new situation comes, just jump at it, because you know that you can't lose. It's impossible for you to lose, because you're always learning, or you win. And even when you win, let's hope there's a little bit of learning in that as well, because it teaches you where else to go, what's working, and how to possibly improve as well. Isn't that just exciting, though? Knowing that you can never, ever lose, because life is just filled with experiences that will teach you and grow you. You're always learning. So even as you stand on the ledge of something extremely scary in your career transition, always know that you will never lose. You either win or you learn. And learning is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing that helps you to grow and to always be a more expansive version of yourself. So isn't life good just knowing that you don't have to be afraid to make mistakes? I think that's quite exciting. I find that idea completely exciting, because it helps me to free myself of the burden of making mistakes. And oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? There's a way to come back. There's a way for you to come back from that, to learn from that, to improve from that. But you can't improve unless you learn. And learning comes most from when we make our mistakes. And we scratch our knees and we have all sorts of things happen. That's when we really start to learn. So I hope that message was really helped you to start to feel into that. The other thing I did want to speak about right at the end. So we spoke about reframing and resetting how we see everything, especially this is the mindset piece. And then the other piece I said was the action. Get into action. Action breeds clarity like you won't believe. Just act. Create a little list today to say, okay, from now on, this is what I'm going to start to do. Little tiny actions that are going to help you make mistakes. And this is the activity. This actually brings me to the activity. I want you, whenever you see this video, to start this mistake challenge. #mistake challenge. You're going to start from today and make as many mistakes as you can. And then when a week has gone by and you come back to my channel, I want you to go to the comments in this video and let me know by saying #mistake-challenge. I've made X mistake. I've made 3 mistakes. I've made 4 mistakes. I've made 5 mistakes. And by mistakes, I mean things that didn't work out. The other day, I sent an email to a news platform and I was like, I'd love to have a particular conversation about this topic. And the person didn't even get back to me, but I think they read my message. And that was like, oh, okay, I tried. And what I learned from that was a bunch of different things when I pitch to news platforms that are going to help me do that a lot better in the future. So let's make mistakes. Let's learn, let's grow, let's expand, let's transition, let's go from caterpillar to butterfly and then butterfly to caterpillar, just all over again. Because that's the purpose of life, is for us to constantly be expanding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. #mistake-challenge. Please don't forget to go into the comments and let me know if you're ready to make mistakes. And then in a week's time, let me know how many mistakes you have made. I've made lots and lots and lots, and I'm looking forward to making lots and lots of mistakes today. I mean, the day is not even over, and I know there are a few that are coming for me, but I'm excited because it means that when I go to sleep at night, I'm not the same Zanele that I was when I woke up in the morning, because I made mistakes and I learned. Wishing you all of the best on your journey of making mistakes and getting things wrong, standing on the ledge and hoping that things go well for your career transition. I wish you a personalized version of absolute success. Bye for now.